And he's also the owner of East Coast Sailboats and the East Coast dealer of NACRA catamarans, correct?
Correct.
Oh my goodness. And he's also a sponsor of the race this year. So Mr. Hardy, this is why you're the superstar. Cause like you're the superstar. So what do you not do in regards to the catamaran sailboats and the World 1000 race?
Well, I just like to go fast. I love catamarans, and that's why I got into the business. And so we, as East Coast Sailboats, try to encourage sailing for youth and adults to do this type of raid style racing, and as well as get our youth involved into catamaran racing, as well as racing other boats as well too.
I love that aspect of it. Thank you so much for involving the youth in this because this is an opportunity of a lifetime that I think a lot of people don't pay attention to. So thank you for reaching out to the youth for that. I appreciate it. I wanted to sit here and say thank you so much for allowing us to talk to your son.
No
I
worries.
see he's a part of the crew as well. I know we've had many conversations on crews and how they assist you guys out there on the water. So I'm not going to focus on that as much. But can you tell me about one of your most memorable experiences to the World 1000 race? Because I've heard a couple of them, but I want to hear your most memorable experience.
Positive or negative?
Either one. I've heard positive. So either one you want to
Positive,
do.
positive. It's all positive in a way. I mean, it's a very interesting experience. I mean, the race itself is not only is it the distance race and you're competing against competitors and you're doing all that, but you're sailing 1,000 miles and you're stopping every night. You're going in and out of the beach. A million things from Sunday can happen at any given time, so you have to be ready for everything. And so, you got to be mentally prepared. You got to be ready to fix things on the fly. You got to, have the support of your crew, which we have a wonderful crew that always they just point us in the right direction and we go. Um, the One of the experiences I had in the first World I did in 2022, I fell off the boat, and I ended up. I'm like, well, James was off there calling Hardy. I tried to swim to the boat, but the wind caught the tramp, and it was going off faster than I could swim. So I'm like, well, it's an onshore breeze. I'll float into shore. Eventually, the boat will float in as well too. Hopefully, it's not too damaged. But luckily enough, one of the other teams, Fast Forward Composites, saw us, and I waved at them, and they came and picked me up and dropped me off, and so that was the one experience that I care not to repeat, but it's definitely a great story.
I hope you don't repeat it either. Is there anything that you can give a youth since you are adding the youth to the races? Is there anything that you can advise the youth to be aware of, to just be mentally prepared for in regards to wanting to get out to sail and race, long distance or short?
It's just training. You have to know your boat. You have to understand your boat. You have to be able to understand your skills and your capabilities as well too. You have to be willing to learn from other people. And every time I talk to another sailor, I learn something new, or I learn this, or I've read about that. And it's about getting yourself ready to do whether it's a buoy race or a distance race. Being prepared, having the right gear, having the right physical fitness, and all that. That is what you need to do for this. But it's also a mental game as well too. You have to be mentally prepared because you're on the water, especially in this race. You're on the water for anywhere between. I think this race we're on the water anywhere between 4 hours and 50 minutes to 15 hours, and so it can be very mentally taxing.
Yes.
Hydration, nutrition, and just being warm
Being
because you
warm.
can get cold.
I see a lot of y'all sometimes when you have the hot tub, just coming straight from the beach, jumping in the hot tub.
Yep,
That's the
yep.
sailor soup that I keep hearing about,
The
right?
sailor soup, yes.
I seen it, I want to say one time where you guys jumped in and I think it was like, oh, there's the sailor soup. And I was like, what? But that's, I guess you coming straight off the beach, all the sand and everything, it turns the water into soup.
One piece of advice: don't jump in after them.
Thank you for that. I appreciate you. I didn't have the time to the time I saw you guys, but I'm going to duly note it. Is there, during this particular race, I know we're only halfway through, is there a milestone marker, I think, for you? Besides the lay day is always the, okay, now we got this many more days. Is there a milestone marker that you have for yourself or Team OBX may have for themselves in regards to the World 1000 race?
Oh, absolutely. Our milestone marker is Virginia Beach
At the end of the race,
at the end of the race.
So I was at the, was it you? Nope, it was somebody else. What do you guys do in the downtime while offshore out there? I know it's not too much downtime, but I want to see what your answer is.
There is not much downtime. But when we do have, when it's light wind and we're focusing on sail trim and pointing ability and all that kind of stuff, and literally, one person is driving, the other person is trimming, and sometimes you can take a little bit of a break. We just talk. We
Okay.
talk about stuff, we look at the boat. It's like, hey, I think things are going well, or hey, do you see that dolphin? Or, we distract ourselves. But at the end of the day, it's still a mental supporting each other to make sure we get through. In our downtime, we're drinking water, we're having a bite to eat, we're eating a gummy of some kind to keep our sustenance. Because a lot of times in the heavy days, you don't even have time to do that.
I hear a lot of you say gummies. Is there a particular brand of gummy? We need a sponsorship for that. Is this a particular gummy? Because a lot of you have said this. What are you eating?
It's not the really good gummies.
Oh.
These are the energy gummies. These are like
Oh.
Gatorade and energy gummies, and some will have electrolytes in them and that sort of stuff. So when you're drinking, so like we mix our water with liquid IV, and it's diluted version so that you don't get cramps, that sort of stuff. Because when you're in the same position and you're working hard to get upwind or working hard to go downwind and you're trapped out and it's your body's in constant tension, you're using energy and you're using electrolytes, you're using water, and so you have to replenish that. And you might not be able to stop at a Denny's and fill up. So we have our energy gummies, we have food bars, and then we have fortified water.
I like that. Thank you so much for putting the IV in there. Nobody has said that yet to me, so thank you for the information. But now I want to know really quick. I know you guys, OBX has a lot of fans out there via the Facebook page. So is there something that you would like to say to your Facebook fans or the fans in general?
Yes, thank you very much for your support. And we are doing this for you, and we will be, well as for us as well too, but we will make it to Virginia Beach, and we will be able to tell some really great stories, and we look forward to talking to each and every one of you.
I appreciate you for your time, Mr. Peters. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. This is Superstar here, and I understand why he's a superstar. It is Nikki here at the beautiful Folly Beach, South Carolina, with the World 1000 race, and I'll be back.